Right. That's why I'm voting. I'm telling you, the two guys that are worth voting for are Alberto Mondesi and Jorge Polanco. And I
Which,
think that if
just
he
so
hadn't
we're
gotten injured,
clear,
maybe
when you
Elvis Sanders.
say the person you voted for is not worth voting for, that is saying the person I voted for is not worth voting for, and you're wrong. This guy's just Xander Bogaerts is he deserves a vote just as much as these other guys. These other guys aren't more standouting than Xander Bogaerts.
I think what Mondesi and Polanco is doing is from terms of stats this year is a step above. You know, the other guys are good. The guys that we're talking about, the guys that we expected to be great, are having good seasons. These two guys weren't expected to be great. There was a lot of hype on Mondesi. They're having great seasons. I mean, Alberto Mondesi was a guy that people were saying he's going to have trouble because he doesn't walk enough. He might be a stolen base only. He might hit 240, hit 288. But the amazing thing is the 42 RBIs. There's more there. That's the guy. You know, that is the guy. Since we've got a few more minutes here, can we get to third base on the American League side?
I don't know.
And you guys vote for Hunter
I say it's got to be Matt Chapman. He's the best third baseman defensively, possibly the best defender in the league, hands down. And he's got 15 homers, 34 RBIs. I mean, if you put defense in there at all, you got to have Matt Chapman in there.
Well, I mean, I don't think that Alex Bregman is a slouch at defense, and he's got a few more home runs than that. I think those two guys are pretty well, and there might be a bit of a groundswell for either the hot rookie. I think Vladimir Guerrero will get more votes than he probably ought to. Don't you think?
Oh God, I'm so sick of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and I want to love him, but people just hype this guy way too hard.
And the phenomenal years by people who shouldn't be this good, like Hunter Dozier and Gio Urshela. They are just.
In the NL for third base, I went with Rendon.
Yeah, I went with Rendon too. I mean, my gut said vote for Bryant, but then the thing kicked in. It's like Bryant deserves this. Sorry, Rendon deserves this as much or more than Bryant, and I want Bryant to stay home.
What about Arenado? This guy's batting .344 with 50 RBIs right now.
Yeah, but it's all juiced up by the, it's like whenever I look at a guy, I mean, I love Arenado from a fantasy standpoint. I love him actually as a player, but the numbers you take with a grain of salt. If Core's numbers keep Larry Walker out of the Hall of Fame, then I got to apply that same thing to these sort of things. When I look at him batting .344, I go, that would be like maybe .312 if he played in Cleveland. It's 15 home runs. It's probably like 9 home runs. But definitely the RBIs would probably be cut by 17. It's like he'd be in the same, like Bryant's sitting there with 35 RBIs, and Rendon is 34 RBIs. I can discount all those 16 RBIs just to the Coors factor.
Here's a fun fact for everybody here. My two picks for the All-Stars for the third base, Nolan Arenado and Matt Chapman, actually played at the same high school in L.A., El Toro High School, and so Chapman followed Arenado through there. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Is our resident language expert. What does El Toro mean, Brendan?
Isn't El Toro the bull?
C.
I figured that everybody knew that. I was just trying to find a way to get you back into the game. But you know what'll get you back into the game? It is 10:50, and you know what that means.
That means one thing and one thing only. That means it is finally time for us to play trivia. I am your host. I am the 5-Minute Professor. You can find me at Facebook at 5-Minute Professor. You can also find me on YouTube at 5-Minute Professor. And Red Sox fan, and angry at the vast majority of them. But I will say this. They were playing the Yankees this weekend, and the Yankees do not have a lot of big names playing right now. Batting ninth is Gardner. Batting ninth is Brett Gardner. That's remarkable to me. But having said that, and Gary Sanchez is their cleanup hitter. So So I was looking at the Yankees again this week, and I noticed something which is unusual, which I shouldn't have said in this order. So it is time now for our trivia.
If it was any consolation, I wasn't paying attention.
That's perfect. So we are going to talk about retired numbers.
Ooh.
Which team has the most retired numbers at 23? Technically, it's 21 because they retired two different numbers twice. What team has the most retired numbers at 23?
This is just for
Technically
baseball,
21.
right? This isn't like for like other
This is for baseball.
This is
Baseball
baseball.
only.
All
Although
right.
all right. And because he won last week, Stevie O gets to go first. What do you think the team is with the most retired numbers at 23?
It's got to be the Yankees.
He says the Yankees. What do you think?
I think the
Brendan.
Brendan.
I was also going to go with the Yankees. I don't think they even have any single-digit numbers left.
Doug,
I
what do you think?
I think the Yankees have retired one number. So I'm going to go with the Dodgers.
It is the Yankees. It is the Yankees. I see what you're doing here. You're trying to set yourself up as the underdog. It is the
No,
Yankees.
they've only retired. The only retire was Jackie Robinson. They don't retire their numbers. They put them on the Wall of Fame. You know, you can get. You know,
They are considered retired numbers. They have retired the number 10 twice and the number 42 twice. But they are considered retired. They list them as being retired numbers.
I was almost going to go with the Seattle Pilots, but I decided to go with the Yankees instead.
That is part of the reason why it looks like, when you're looking at uniform numbers only, it looks like you're either looking at a spring training game with the Yankees, or maybe it's just an offensive line squad from the Giants that are out playing some baseball on a Sunday afternoon. But as a result, they have a lot of high numbers. For the question number 2, for the Yankees, what is the lowest available uniform number that is not retired? What is the lowest available uniform number that is not retired? And because Brendan seems to have a lot of information on this and did not win last week, Brendan, I'll let you go first. What do you think?
Okay, now when you say available, do you mean not retired or stuff that neither a retired or current player is wearing?
I mean not retired. I mean that a player who is playing could have that number, and one does.
I believe it would be 11 then, because I think Brett Gardner's 11, isn't he?
You give a ton of information. Other people have to vote after you. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Have you seen this game before?
I was going to go with 11 too. So
What do you think, Stevie?
God, I'm so bad at this. I'm going to go with 7.
Okay, so it turns out that the lowest available number is 11, and it is worn
wait.
by Brett Gardner.
no, we're all wrong. Adam
Right.
Ottavino is pitching for them with the number 0 on his back.
I don't count that as a number. But you know what? That is,
Like you go by the old
You know what, that
Roman
is
ways.
I appreciate that. No one gets any points. It is 0.
No batting, number 0, Adam Ottavino.
Well, he's a
don't do
relief
the Bob
pitcher.
Shepard impression.
He's a relief pitcher.
Yeah, you know what? That is. Thank you very much for that, because I had not considered 0. I didn't look for 0.
I don't
Nice
only because
job.
I know Ottavino is 0. That's the only thing.
All right. That's probably why he's 0, because there are so few numbers left. Speaking of 0, question number 3: what two teams do not have any retired numbers except for the number 42, which is retired across the league? What two teams do not have any retired numbers? Two teams. There are 2 right answers. Each one will be worth a point. What are the 2 teams that have no retired numbers? And I will let Doug go first on this one.
Just for lack of, they don't really have anybody that deserves it. I'm a little scared that the Rays retired Wade Boggs. But I'm going to go with the Rays and the Marlins.
All right, so you say the Rays and the Marlins. And Brendan, what do you think the 2 teams are that have not had any retired numbers?
Ooh. Okay, I'm trying to think teams that have either little history or bad history. Yeah, I would be worried for the same reasons as Doug, but I will go with the Rays for one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm pretty sure the Nationals would have carried over whatever retired numbers the Expos had, I am going to differ a little bit, and I'm going to say the Rockies.
All right, so we have 2 guesses there, Rays and Rockies. And what do you think, Stevie O? 2 teams with no retired numbers.
I'm going to go with the Marlins and the Diamondbacks.
Interesting choices. All right, so here are the right answers. First of all, I'll tell you what's not right. The Rockies have retired one number.
Oh, who?
Walker. Oh, Elton.
Yeah.
Elton.
Yeah.
Walker? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
The Rays have retired two numbers.
Ah.
Wade Boggs and Don Zimmer.
Oh, I forgot about coaches.
The Blue Jays have retired two. The Diamondbacks have retired two. The Mariners have retired two. The Rockies, the Rockies tried just the one. And the two teams that have not retired any numbers are the Miami Marlins.
All right.
And you were right there. The Nationals do not have any numbers retired. They list the 4 numbers retired by the Expos, but they are not retired.
They are far more
Nationals.
retired than the Yankees guys are retired. It's like, oh, we have, as long as Doug won't get the points, we'll change the rules. Let's move on to question number 4. And tune in next week for your new trivia host.
The highest retired number for any position was 72. Retired for what player who also has the number 27 retired on a different team? The highest retired number of any position player is 72. Retired for what player who also has 27 retired on another team? The highest retired number of any position player was a 72. Retired for what player who was also has a 27 retired? The highest person to have a number retired is actually 85, but that was an executive. All right, so right now, because he is in the lead with 2 points, Stevie O, you get to go first. What do you think the answer is?
Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig is a fine guess, all right. And although he played exclusively for the Yankees. Doug, I'm going to let you go second.
It was Carlton Fisk.
And what do you think, Brendan?
I'm going to go with Carlton Fisk.
I thought you guys might go with Carlton Fisk. It is, in fact, Carlton Fisk. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, going into the final question, we have a 3-way tie. It's exciting.
Before you ask this question, I have this tidbit about retired numbers, but it's in football. This year, the senior Ace Perry got signed by the Buffalo Bills, and he discovered that the number 32 was not retired. So he's going to wear that number. So somebody's going to wear O.J. Simpson's number this year in the NFL, which I think is going to be kind of interesting.
Sorry about the coughing there. This last question is brought to you by Coke Zero. It goes down smooth.
Question number 5. What is the highest retired number? I have a clue. It's stupid high. Like literally higher than high. What is the highest retired number? The second highest retired number is 85. What is the highest retired number? I have a clue. It's stupid high. Like literally higher than high. What is the highest retired number? And Stevie, because you won last week, you're going to go first. We're almost done. We have less than a minute.
I mean, I'm going to go with 99.
99. All right. Brendan, what do you think?
I was going to go with 99 because I was about to say Wayne Gretzky was so awesome that they retired his number from all professional sports. That said, I'm going to go with 95.
All right. And Doug, what do you think the answer is?
I know that in football, a couple teams retired 105, 106 for a decibel level, but I'm gonna guess 118.
118. All of them good guesses. The correct answer is off by over 300.
Wow.
Actually, off by 337. The number 455 was retired.
That's right. I seen that on the
by the Cleveland Indians. For the 455 consecutive sellouts at the Jake. Ladies and gentlemen, our winner this week, the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Doug wins.
The man
Doug
so
wins.
Great, we named the whole show after him.
We have to
Doug.
We have to make this thing quick. Remember, you get us on Twitter, at Urban Ravoon, at Kind of Joke. You can get the 5 Minute Professor on Facebook. And check into Lenny Melnick Sports. Go to the chat room. Lucas Baseball is on at noon. Be there. We'll be back next. Same bad time, same bad channel. We survived, boys.
Nous avons